Joel, great to see you again. What do you make of the March for Our Lives, March for Lives? It's a riff off of the phrase March for Life, I think, which is a big anti-abortion protest that never gets a fraction of this coverage.
Well, it's part of the snowflakeization of youth politics in this country, where you've convinced young people that their lives are at stake. Actually, they're not. School shootings are not actually increasing. And the question we're talking about here isn't a matter of life on one side and death on the other. There are people who would argue that a stronger Second Amendment is actually the best thing for protecting life. And as we saw at the high school in Maryland last week, where a security officer engaged, shot, and killed a student who came to school to shoot other people, that is the only reliable way to stop these things from happening. So you don't want to restrict the Second Amendment if you actually care about life. What this was really was an extension of the anti-Trump movement. It was like the Women's March. It was like the Me Too marches that have happened, where they've taken a legitimate public issue, let's say in the case of Me Too, question of sexual harassment, ironically in liberal Hollywood, and they've turned it into a mobilizing force for the anti-Trump demonstrators around the country as a whole. So it's true that a lot of young people are getting engaged and involved, but if you look at the polling data on this, only a plurality of younger people want more gun control, and there is a smaller number, a minority, but not an insignificant one, that believes in strong protections for the Second Amendment. So this is not what is being portrayed on television as an entirely majority view that everybody agrees that we have to impose gun controls in the country. What these children who have been elevated to positions of leadership beyond their maturity don't understand is that the reason we haven't resolved the question of gun violence is that it's actually very tricky. And confiscating guns is not an option. Banning guns is not an option. And the fact is that where we have the most gun control in this country is also where we have the most violence. As Newt Gingrich pointed out on the weekend, most of the gun murders in this country occur in 5 metropolitan areas, and those are also cities that have the toughest gun laws. So this is not an easy issue to sort out, and the fact that we're being lectured and hectored by people and told that if you don't stand with them, you want to kill children, that's running the risk of provoking another backlash. And if Republican voters become convinced that a Democratic Congress will take away their gun rights, the March for Our Lives may actually have mobilized as many, if not more, Republican voters than they did Democrats.
That's an excerpt from my daily TV show, The Ezra Levant Show. Normally it's behind a paywall, but I thought you'd like this video, so we put it on YouTube. If you want to subscribe to watch the daily show every day, including always 2 interviews a day, and I read my hate mail, just click on this screen and become a premium member.